I'm going to have you start on your backs, and I actually want you to take your pillow and to put it underneath your knees, like so. And your head is going to be on the floor. Arms are going to rest by your sides. Palms are going to face up. Okay. Reminder for you, Arnell, of course, if this is uncomfortable for you and you need to kind of prop your shoulders up and your head up, like we talked about last week, then you can definitely do that. And just kind of assessing how you feel when you are lying flat on your back. And then once you get yourself settled, you're going to let your eyes gently close. And we're going to start with 3 sighs. 3 times, breathing in through the nose, open in the mouth, and sighing out through the mouth. And I always strongly encourage you to take your time. There's no rush. And today, with it being kind of the beginning of cold season, if at any time I say breathe through your nose and your nose is stopped up, please breathe through your mouth. But if your nose is not congested, start to breathe in and out through the nose. Notice the flow of the breath. And take this first moment here to recognize the fact that you are resting here. Try to be in this present moment so that you're not planning and you're not remembering, but instead you become acutely aware of time. And with that acute awareness, you can feel the moments slowly moving forward. Observe how in that moment of silence that I just provided, if your mind went back to planning or remembering and moved away from the conscious awareness of the passing of time. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's something to observe. Beautiful. Go ahead and straighten your legs. You can keep your legs on top of this pillow and you're just going to stretch the legs, right? So straighten them and you're going to point your toes and you're going to flex your feet. And it's just like this big stretch and engagement of the muscles in your legs, stretching, flexing, pointing. Good. Start to roll the ankles in a circle and reverse that. Go the other direction. Beautiful. Keep your left leg where it is. Just keep it right there on the pillow and draw the left knee in. Grab behind your right knee in. Grab behind your right thigh here. And you're just going to straighten the leg and then bend the knee. All right, we do this a lot in class. You want this to be relaxing. Don't worry about how much you're straightening the leg, bringing it into the chest. If you want a little more challenge as you bend that knee, really draw it in towards your chest. As you straighten the leg, try to keep it in towards the chest as much as possible. It's going to pull away. That's normal. Good. Last one. Awesome. And then let your arms rest by your side and just start to roll the knee in a circle here. If you find that you feel like you need some support, you can always grab that knee with your hand and support the leg. But otherwise, just big circles here. Stretch through the hip, through the inner thigh, through the back. And of course, reverse that circle, other direction. All right, bring that right leg down and let it rest on the pillow as you bring the left knee in. Grab behind that thigh. Right leg is relaxed. Go ahead and flex the left foot and start to straighten the leg and bend the knee. Right, so same thing here on this side. If you want it to be a little more relaxing, don't worry about doing anything other than straightening as much as you can and letting that leg fall back. You want a little more challenge. As you bend the knee, you're drawing that left knee in towards the chest and then trying to keep it towards the chest as much as possible as you straighten it. Beautiful. All right. Place those hands down on the mat again and start to make that circle. Support the knee if you feel like you need to, or if you feel like you want to. And then, of course, reverse that. Bring it around opposite direction. Good. Let that left leg come down onto that pillow. Just let it relax here. We are going to do one arm at a time. Okay. So I want you to start on the right arm. Your left arm can be by your side in whatever capacity is comfortable for you. You're going to reach that right arm up towards the ceiling. Maybe you reach it over your head. Maybe the thumb touches the floor above the head. And then you're slowly going to bring it back down to center, back down to where it started. And just stay on that right side. Okay. And so remember, I said maybe you get so that the fingers are pointing to the ceiling and that's as far as you want to go, right? Don't push it. Go to where your body says it's comfortable going to today. Great. And let that arm come all the way back down. And then you're going to go to the other side. So remember, one side can feel very different than the other. It's normal, it's natural. So start just with the fingertips up towards the ceiling. Maybe you start to reach it up over the head. Maybe the thumb touches the floor. Remind yourself it doesn't have to. Nice slow breathing as you do it. From my count at least, I've got one more to make it even. And then after you finish that one more, you're just going to move your pillow. You're going to place it to the side. We're going to do a little windshield wiper here. So do make sure it's not really next to your legs or your knees. And place your feet hip distance apart or mat distance apart with your knees bent, arms by your sides, palms facing the floor. You want to flex the feet, so lift the toes up. And then ever so gently, just rock the knees side to side, right and left and right and left. But move really slow, right? So when you really move slow, you start to feel a stretch in the low back. You can feel a stretch in the hip flexor, right? In the space just right above the pelvis, just depending on where you might have some tension. But let yourself relax and move through the motions. Good. Bring those knees back to center. Take your feet hip distance apart. So bringing them in a little bit closer. Take your arms down by your sides. Your palms are going to face up. And you're just going to slide your arms from being by your side, by your hips, to straight out from the shoulder, like you're a lowercase t. Okay? And then you'll bring them back down. All right, so you can do this with breath. You can inhale as those arms reach out, like a lowercase t. And then you can exhale as the hands come back by the hips. Go ahead and reach your arms straight out, the height of the shoulders here, as if you were a lowercase t. Your modification for the next part that we're going to do is to go back to what we just did. Okay. So you're going to bend your elbows, come into kind of like a cactus pose, right? Back of the hands stay on the floor, and then you're just going to straighten the elbows. So the arms go straight, and then the elbows bend, keeping the back of the hand on the floor. If that doesn't feel good, then you're going to go back to what we were doing a moment ago, just going from the side of the body and then straight out like a lowercase t. Very good. Place your hands on your belly now, obviously palms down. And then scoot your shoulders down a little bit so that they're away from your ears as much as possible. And I just want you to rock your head now side to side, a little neck stretch. And so you'll drop the right ear towards the floor, and then you'll come back up and you'll drop the left ear towards the floor. And you'll come back up and just gently moving side to side here. All right. The next time that you go to the right side, I want you to stay on the right side with that right ear drawing down towards the floor. Take your left arm down by your side and reach it towards your left foot, right? Clearly, it's not going to touch. And then take a sigh, take two sighs, maybe if you like. Feel that neck relax. Bring it back up to center and place your left hand on your stomach. Drop your left ear towards the shoulder or towards the floor, either way. And then you're going to start to draw your right hand down towards your foot. Clearly, it's not going to touch, but it brings the shoulder away from the neck a little more, which is what I'm looking for. And then you're going to take those two sighs again. Relax the neck as you do so. Great. Bring it back to center. We're going to do one quick twist before we come up to sit here. So bring that right knee back in towards the chest. We're coming into spinal twist. So the right arm's going to reach out to the side like a lowercase t. Left hand grabs the knee, twist. Okay, so the knee comes across the body, the hip comes off the floor. Make sure that right arm, the right shoulder stays grounded. So if it's coming off of the floor, you've twisted too far, right? Breathe into the low back here as best as you can. Awesome. Bring it on back to center. Release the right leg down. So you're going to switch sides. Left knee is going to come in. Go ahead and reach that left arm out to the side like a lowercase t. And as you exhale, twist. Left hip comes off the floor. Left shoulder stays grounded. Keep it pressing down and breathe. Great. Come back to center. And then you're going to make your way up to sit. And we are probably not going to be doing standing poses today. So if you want to grab some water now, of course, is a great time to do that. Awesome. So since we do have our pillows, I know sometimes I mention this in class, and of course, you like probably don't have anything sitting right next to you. But if you find that your knees are super high, or if there's a lot of like gripping in the hip sockets whenever you're sitting, if it's uncomfortable, if it's hard for you to sit, any of the above, okay, sit on your pillow and just observe if that changes anything for you. Okay. A lot of times it can just help release some of that gripping, especially if it's a firm pillow. It can also help to kind of tilt your pelvis forward a bit, which you want to do to help you sit up nice and tall. And if you get there and you're like, not for me, don't do it. Get off the pillow. All right, great. All right, reach those arms out to the side. Just stay here, reach to the fingertips real strong, pull the belly in, lift the chest up. Good. Notice the shoulders, right? So our shoulders want to creep up. Don't let them. Think of your shoulder blades going down the back. Okay. Sometimes that increases the stretch that you feel like around your elbow, your inner elbow. Keep the shoulder blades down the back. Reach the fingertips a little more. Good. Belly's in. Just breathe. Sometimes, like, we look and we're like, what are we doing? We're just holding our arms up. But if you hold it and you breathe, you start to feel the work, right? Beautiful. Release those down. We're going to come back to that in a moment, but just roll the shoulders back and down here. All right. So a little more strength work here. Okay. You're going to reach those arms out to the side again. Okay. If at any point, you get tired, take your arms down. It's fine. Right? Bring those shoulder blades down the back. So drop your shoulders, reach those fingertips. You can stay here. If you want to start to make circles, think of those circles going backwards. They're not big, okay? They're little circles. That's actually going to help with strength. I'm working on strength here as opposed to range of motion. Range of motion is going to be the big circles. These are tiny little circles. And I'm really not bringing my hands any more forward from where they were when we started. Keep the chest up, keep those shoulders down, working the deltoids, and breathe. We'll stretch this out, I promise. Good. Maybe about 5 more seconds. And release it down. Awesome. Place your fingertips on the floor. Okay, if they reach, roll the shoulders back again. Keep that chest high. And then just drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Awesome. Might bend the elbow a little bit, the left elbow, and play around with the elbow to see how that changes the stretch in the neck and in the shoulder for you. Good. Look down towards your right fingertips. Keep pressing through the left fingertips. Beautiful. Bring yourself back up to center. We're going to go to the other side. Let that left ear go to the left shoulder. Okay, play around with the right elbow. It's the opposing elbow, the side that's stretching. Okay. Maybe bend the elbow a little bit. Maybe rotate it back a little bit. Maybe rotate it forward a little bit, right? We're all tight in different areas. Right? There's no like magical direction to give everybody the best stretch. So play around with it a little bit. Be okay doing that. Good. And then you're going to look down towards the left fingertips. Keep pressing with the right fingertips. Okay, so you'll notice if you're, whatever side you're stretching, whatever you do with that arm has a great influence on the stretch itself. Good. And bring yourself all the way back up. All right, we're going to go through some cat cows. We're going to do them seated. I feel like getting in tabletop, um, not great for congestion, not great for just coming out of surgery. So we're going to do it seated. As you exhale, you're going to round the back. So bring that tailbone forward. Think of rounding the back one vertebra at a time. Let the head drop at the very last. As you inhale, you're arching the back. And rolling the shoulders back, maybe looking up if it's comfortable. And just flowing with your breath at your own pace. And bring yourself back through center here. And we'll start our barrel rolls. So you're making a circle. Think of making a circle with your waist or with your belly button here. And you're just rolling the torso in a circle. Yeah. And reverse that circle. Bring it around. Other direction. Great. All righty. You are going to take your right leg out in front of you and allow your left knee to come out to the side. Your foot is going to be just pressing on the inside of your right leg here. Good. Lift your chest up. Right. Remember where the hip crease is. So the hip crease is right here where your thigh meets the hips, the pelvis. Okay. So you're going to keep the chest up and you're going to turn towards the right leg. It's just a little micro turn. And you're going to try to move from that hip crease and start to fold forward. This is kind of like almost like a pigeon pose where you feel the stretch like immediately. And you don't have to go far to feel what's going on. You might have your hands on your leg, you might have your hands on the floor, whatever's most comfortable. And then I want you to play around again a little bit here. So play around with maybe letting your back round and your head drop, noticing how that feels for you. And then staying in that fold, but kind of rolling yourself into more of a flat back, lifting the chest back up, right? Maybe you find that you like one better than the other. Maybe you like the action of going from that rounded back and flowing into that flat back. Okay, so I'm going to giving you lots of wiggle room, play room here. So do what feels best for you and your body. Good. Come out of this. We're going to go right on over to the other side. So left leg's going to extend out. Right knee is bent out to the side. Foot is on the inside of the left leg to some capacity. Good. Roll the shoulders back. Find where the hip crease is. And you're going to turn. It's like a micro turn towards the left leg. And then move from the hip crease. Try to do the flat back first, okay? Because you're going to feel that good stretch in the back of the leg. Keep the chest lifted. Hands might be on the floor, hands might be on your leg. Breathe a little deeper if you can. Right. So remember, when you breathe deep, that is your body telling your muscles it's okay to relax and to stretch and to lengthen. And then you can play around a little bit again if you want to let the back round and the head drop. Maybe you're there and you like that better. Maybe you don't. You don't, maybe you go back to lifting up and having that flat, neutral spine with the chest lifted. Or maybe you like that action of kind of moving in between. Mhm. Whatever you want to do is good. You can be doing something totally different on this side than you were on the other side. That's normal. One side might feel tighter. For me, my left side is always my tight side, the hips and my legs and my back. But once you start to become aware of that, you become aware of the imbalances in the body, then you can start to address them by stretching a tighter side longer. Good. Let yourself come all the way back up. If you are sitting on a pillow, we're going to use it now. So I actually want you to get off the pillow and you're going to bring both your legs out in front of you in kind of a straddle. Okay, so we're not talking like you're in gymnastics class, crazy straddle, right? But just a little bit wider than the pillow here. And the tendency is for us to kind of roll back onto the back of the sits bones, right? And they do this in yoga classes, we do it in trainings. You are just going to take your hand and kind of lift the flesh out from underneath your sits bones so that it helps to bring you forward. So it helps to tilt your pelvis forward some. Yeah. All righty. And you might just kind of start to bring your arms, your forearms down onto the pillow. Your back is going to round in this. Okay. Totally fine. You might start to walk your arms out a little bit more. You might let your head drop. Maybe your head comes down onto the pillow. Right? Pillows are nice because you can bunch them up. Maybe you fold your pillow in half and you drape your torso over it, like so. Right? Whatever it might be. We're going to be here for 90 seconds from right now. Right? So know you've got some time to get into whatever position that you want to be in, but try to have that pillow giving you support of some kind, whether it's your arms or your torso or your head. Bring yourself all the way back up slowly. We're going to do a quick twist and then some restorative stuff on the back with the pillow. So cross your legs, right? Try to keep that pelvis tilted forward a little bit here and the chest lifted nice and high. As you inhale, you're going to reach the arms however high you want to reach them. As you exhale, twisting to the right, right hand's coming behind you. Left hand grabs that right knee. Lift your chest, pull the belly in. Good. Bring yourself back to center as you reach up. Very nice. Looks good. Exhale, go to the other side. Your belly pulls in, chest is going to lift up. Just those minor little tweaks can make a really big difference. Good. Bring yourself all the way back to center. If you'd like to grab another sip of water before we lie down, you can. But we're going to end in a couple of restorative poses. So, what a restorative pose is, I love teaching restorative yoga. You use props. So, today we have a pillow, and those props are there to help support your body so that you can get into a pose, into a position, and you can passively stretch. So, the idea is that you are not forcing, you're not holding anything, but instead you're literally using your supports to kind of melt down into it. And you get this really nice, deep, juicy stretch from it. So grab a sip of water if you need it. And bring your pillow to your right side. You're going to lie on your back. So what I want you to do is to bring your knees to the right side, and you're going to put your pillow in between the knees. like so. Your shoulders will be on the floor. If you find that your shoulders are not evenly on the floor, then you can let that top left leg pull away a little bit so that both shoulders are grounded. If you want a deeper twist, you're trying to stack the knees right on top of each other. Okay. The arms can be down by your side. It's going to give you a little less stretch in your chest area. You can reach them out like you're a lowercase t. You can let the arms just gently rest over your head with the elbows bent, right? But you are relaxed. You are not holding. You are not gripping. You let your eyes close. Sigh if you want to sigh. Relax your body and allow your breath to become a bit deeper. And so while we're resting in this pose, it'll be another 2 minutes. We're going to be here 3 minutes altogether. See if you can practice mindfulness, practice present moment awareness. Become acutely aware of the process of time, the fourth dimension of space in which we inhabit, and observe how, when you become aware of it, you notice it's passing. You notice how, even as you take an inhalation, by the time you finish that inhalation, the beginning of it is already in the past. Good. And then you're gonna just bring your knees to center. Shift your hips a little bit if you need to. I usually have to kind of shift mine over to the right a little bit. And then you're going to drop both of your knees over to the left side. Same thing. Keep the pillow in between the knees, in between the shins. I like to rest my top foot on the pillow. Reach the arms out like a lowercase t. If that's too intense of a stretch for the chest and shoulders, just let your arms rest down by your sides, okay? It takes some of that pressure off of that area. Or you can lift the arms up over the head. It's up to you. It doesn't matter. Right? What does matter is that you're in a place where you truly feel like you can let go. Take some sighs if you like, but let yourself sink into the ground. Feel how the earth supports you, how it holds you, how it cradles you as you are resting in the space in between the earth and space outside of the earth, the universe, the heavens. We're here for 2 more minutes. I'd like for you to keep practicing that mindfulness, the present moment awareness, and the slow ticking of time as it passes. When you become aware of that ticking of time moving, it brings you a deeper a deeper sense of peace, being in the present moment, a deeper realization of purpose, of being human and having the ability to have this awareness that so many other living beings on planet Earth do not have. It's unique and it's special. Very good. Let yourself come back to center here. Just remove the pillow for a moment. We're going to use it again, but I want you to bring both of your knees now just into the chest, either grabbing the knees or the shins or behind the thighs, right? Whatever's the most comfortable for you. And just giving yourself a very gentle rock side to side. Right? Let it be slow. When you do restorative work, everything is slow. Thinking about sometime in November, since when the holidays come around, I usually do a yoga nidra practice, but maybe doing a restorative practice also. You can always let me know your thoughts on that. All right, so go ahead and release those knees. You are going to come up to sit and you're going to place the pillow behind you. You want the pillow to be about 1 to 2 hand widths away from your body because you don't want the pillow up in your low back. Okay. You want the low back to be able to kind of drift and relax down, but instead you're supporting your spine here. Okay. You will lean back and you'll reach the arms out to the side, right? So for those who have recently had surgeries in the chest, if this is uncomfortable for you, okay, what you're going to do is you're going to lie flat on your back with the pillow under the knees, or you can even, rest with your shoulders in your head on the pillow with your legs straight or your knees bent. So those are modifications for you if you get into this position and you feel like it's too much. Okay. Otherwise, Right, your legs can be straight. If that causes strain on the low back, bend the knees, of course. Long, deep breaths here. Um, so, one of the reasons I chose this position is, again, with it being the beginning of cold and flu season, this helps to open up the chest. It helps to open the lungs. It helps to allow the breath to come in and out of the rib cage a little easier. And we live in that forwardly engaged world, right? Shoulders are usually forward, back is rounded. This is the opposite, but it's passive, right? So now, as you're doing that present moment awareness, still working on that, noticing time, the fourth dimension as it passes. And certainly, inevitably, at some point, you'll go into planning or remembering or some sort of self commentary thoughts. But when you notice that happening, then see if you can start to focus on the breath, on the coming and on the going of the breath. Oftentimes, we find that it's most beneficial to provide the mind with something to grasp onto, or else it will move into its habit of thinking and worrying and being distracted. So, there's one thing that is always present, no matter what, and it's always with you, and it's your breath. Every time the mind moves away from the breath and away from noticing the passage of the time and the moments, you bring it back to how you're breathing, how it feels, how long it is, or how short it is. And you are welcome to stay in this position and relax as long as you like. And if you choose to do that, just be with yourself. Don't listen to when I say to start to move. Just stay. If you are coming back, you start to wiggle your fingers and toes, roll your wrists and ankles, and stretch in any way that feels good and juicy to you. Remember that you're on a pillow, so when you roll to your side, just be mindful of that. And eventually you'll roll to the side, bring yourself up to sit, and oh, enjoy your rest. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Peaceful thoughts, peaceful words, peaceful intentions. Namaste. Great. You guys, much love. Awesome.